At this point in our release, we've run the CI phase successfully, and we've also run the on-failure phase to roll back to a successful build in the CI phase when a failure occurred. Now let's take a look at promoting the builds from the CI phase through the remaining phases. So right now, the web backend application has had two builds come in. The first build passed the phase successfully, but the second build failed. So the first build was redeployed when the on-failure phase ran. Then for the web frontend application, we've had three builds come in, and all three have run successfully. So to demonstrate the build promotion process, let's take a look at the state of the web backend application. Right now, as we promote our builds through the different phases, we want to make sure that we're only promoting successful builds. And build 2 of the web backend application failed, so we don't want to promote this build. Build 1, however, was successful, so this is the build we want to promote. And again, this is done through the use of the web backend last successful change token. If we look in the UAT phase at the first task, deploy web backend, we can see that the task is using the web backend last successful change token. When we promote the web backend build from the CI phase to the UAT phase, because there was a failure, the web backend last successful change token will have the value updated to match the last successful change, in this case build 1, so the successful build is promoted and not the build that failed. And then for the web frontend application, there were no failures, so the current build will be the one that's promoted to the next phase. So let's go ahead and manually execute the UAT phase and see how this works. The UAT phase is a scheduled phase, but we can go ahead and click the Run button to run this phase manually. And as the phase runs, we'll also accept the manual task in the phases is done so that the phase can complete. Next, we can see that the deploy web backend task ran, and it promoted build 1 instead of build 2. So the correct build was in fact promoted. And now we can see that for the web frontend application, build 3 was promoted, which is also the correct build. Since the UAT phase completed successfully, we can choose to promote the build to the next phase by clicking Run on the Verify phase. And we can see for the web backend application, build 1 was again promoted, and for the web frontend application, build 3 was promoted. And now we're set to promote to the production phase, so we'll click Run in that phase. And we can see that build 1 of the web backend application was again deployed, and build 3 of the web frontend. And what's key here is the use of the tokens. In a previous video, we used the web backend previous successful change token in the on failure phase to roll back to a successful build within the CI phase. And in this example, we use the web backend last successful change token to ensure the correct build is promoted to the next phase and to ensure that we're only promoting successful builds. Throughout the release, as multiple builds cycle through, the use of these tokens ensures that the automated build deployment and promotion are always using the correct builds of the applications.